What's up, guys? Welcome to a new day. I'm Stephanie Ryder, and this is the 365 Shares podcast. It's January 13th, 2024, and this is the 13th episode of the 365 Shares podcast. Today's affirmation topic is taking a risk, and the Big Red Book says, talking about our feelings is a risk. However, this is a risk worth taking because the rewards are great. Today is Saturday, and I actually had a really busy Saturday. I'm sitting down late to record this, and I think it's good because a lot this past week I've just sort of been in my head, and I've been home a lot, and I've been working and hanging out with the cat and not doing a ton else, but today was a cool day. It was a busy day. I got up, I actually washed my hair and did it, and went over and picked up my partner's mom, and we went to this really cool, it was like a psychic and healing fair, and they had people selling crystals, and there were acupuncturists and Reiki healers, and there was a numerologist, there were psychics. So it was just like a really cool experience, and my partner's mom did a Reiki session that she said she really liked, and that was cool. I got to watch like a little bit of her doing that. And then I sat down with this woman and had a numerology session, and it was really amazing. And I'm a numerology number 11. And what she said was that this year without telling her very much about anything at all, she said I would move a little bit away from like the black and white kind of job that I have had and move into something else, and it would be more spiritually guided. And she really just described a lot of this stuff that sounds like where I want to go with this podcast and just in my life in general, where I've always really played it safe and had a job that gives me health insurance and, retirement savings, and just was like a go to work, do your job, computer job type of job. But that's not really, I enjoy it, and it's been a great learning experience, and I love my career, and I've worked hard at it, and I don't want to give it up. But I also have this other side of me where I'm very passionate about mental health and growth and what makes people work and what helps people and what heals people. So I was happy to hear her say that because it was kind of a validation of this new risk that I'm taking. So it's great that the topic for today is taking a risk, because it is a little bit of a risk to start something new, and I'm dedicating a little bit of time every day to doing it. And I'm doing something a little bit differently than I think most people are doing. There's a very consistent format that most podcasts follow. It's like once a week, and it's an hour, and a lot of them have guests or co-hosts. But this is really just sort of a one-off format, and I think it's not something that I would ever want to do as a video podcast either, not only because I take a lot of pauses when I'm thinking about what I'm going to say, and I try to do it very off the cuff so it's not scripted, and also because I like the anonymous feel of it, and I like that that's more how meetings are, where in a meeting you're looking at someone, but you're announcing yourself by your first name, and you just come to that meeting, and if you don't want people to know your email address or anything about you, you don't have to share that with people. But I also kind of like that it just reminds me of when people used to sit around the radio together as a family. Obviously, this was before my lifetime, so I'm, using movies like A Christmas Story and, like older stories like that. But I know that that was a very common thing, the way that people used to sit around television when everything was live, and people used to sit around the radio when there was something every night, and like everyone in the country could be getting the same message that was live. And there was a lot of unity in that. So I kind of want this to be a similar type of thing where even though you can access it streaming at any point in the future, it's something that I just want to put out there every day and have a little sort of message every day that's spontaneous, and, it's live when I do it, and people can get that message every day. So a little bit rambly here, but the numerologist said that things were going to go well. And she actually said, do an affirmation every day. And I was like, I am doing an affirmation every day. But she said I should use the affirmation, I am grateful. So I just want to say, I am grateful. I am grateful that I overcame a fear that I've had for a long time of putting myself out there in a non-corporate way. I am thankful for anyone who's listening and everyone who will listen. And I'm thankful that I have spirit guides with me. And, I called it an angel army when she was talking about it, but generational ancestors who are like listening and watching me. So thanks to everyone who's making this possible. I really appreciate that. I'm Steph, and this is my share. I went to a comedy show tonight with my partner and a bunch of our friends. I had put my name in to have them call you and win free tickets, and my name came up. So tonight we went and we had our free tickets. And obviously there's a 2-drink minimum or you can get food. But it was just really nice to get a bunch of people together to go, and it was some of my partner's friends and some of my friends and a nice little group. And all the comics were great. My partner and I love stand-up comedy. For Christmas, we got each other tickets to a couple of comedians that we both really like. So we're going to be seeing those in the next few months. And it's just a really nice way to get together and hear people's stories and hear them roast the place that we live, or hear them talk about their relationships or their personal lives and things that are good and things that are bad. But just to have a bunch of people together in a room laughing is really nice. And it's sort of that communal feeling on a much bigger scale, on a much happier scale, the feeling that I get when I go to a meeting. Because whatever type of meeting it is, and I've been to Al-Anon, I've been to suicide survivors meetings, I go to adult children of alcoholics, and any meeting you go to, there's just a sense of camaraderie and there's a sense of oneness. So if it's a suicide survivors meetings, you're with people who are dealing with deep, deep grieving and sometimes a sense of their own worry that they could have done more, that they should have done more, or that things could have been different or it could have been prevented. But you're all united in that grief or that sadness or that anger or that guilt. And in Al-Anon, you're all united by a group of people who are giving you permission to do less for someone who always seems like they're demanding more from you, and that nothing you give them will be good enough or that it will help. And so Al-Anon for me is just a group of people that are giving you permission to walk away and to lovingly detach and to survive yourself and to really just trust God and give it up to God. Let go and let God, as they say. And then ACA, I think the vibe is really like healing and having your feelings and being okay and not being interrupted and not being fixed by anyone. The passage in the Strengthening My Recovery book is really great today. And it just talks about the opportunity we have in our meeting rooms to take a risk and to put ourselves out there and to heal and to share our stories and to grow. And when you go to a comedy show and you're with a bunch of people, you're all there to listen to someone's share and their spin put on it. And there's been times when I've shared when people are like laughing and it's and because I want them to, and it's funny, and like we sometimes have to make light of our situations, and a lot of comedians have had hard lives and they have a lot of dark humor, but it's their way to cope with whatever's going on in their lives. So put yourself in a position in the next week, whenever you hear this, like give yourself a week from now, but put yourself in a position where you're in a big room full of people and you all have the same goal, whether it's healing, whether it's laughing, whether, you go to church and it's communing with a higher power or any kind of, spiritual religious institution. But, if you're in college, go to a lecture in person and sit with a bunch of other people, and anything. Go to a sporting event where the point is entertainment and the point is winning. That's a great energy. Just be somewhere where you're in the collective energy of a bunch of other people and think about how you feel when you're with that energy. And that's your homework. The affirmation in the book is, on this day, I know that in ACA, I can risk sharing my innermost feelings. They will be met with acceptance and love. So go find yourself a group of people, whatever kind of people, and put yourself out there. Take a risk.